Greetings to you from wherever you are watching us tonight. Thanks for joining us on the Thursday edition of the show. Via me, Adebayo. Well, tonight on the show, a lot of things to talk about. There's the eagerly anticipated 2026 FIFA World Cup draw to be hosted by England's Rio Ferdinand. We'll be talking about that. We'll also be talking about Africa's biggest showpiece, talking about the Africa Cup of Nations, and of course, some of the guidelines that Africa's football ruling body CAF have put in place. We'll also come home to talk about the Women's League. We'll also travel abroad and take a look at the English Premier League. You're hope for an interesting time tonight on the show. We urge you to sit back and relax, even as we take you on this trip. And also to forget, William Troost-Ekong is in the news, call it quits with the Super Eagles. We'll talk about all of that and more on the show. Well, it's a two-man show. My colleague, Austin Konakpan, seated and ready as we go along on this ride.
You and of course, everyone joining us on the show tonight. It's always an action-packed world of sports right here in the Premier League. Manchester United and West Ham, that game just kicked off at Old Trafford. I'll be monitoring everything that will be going down in that match. Can Manchester United do just enough to beat West Ham? Can the Hammers avoid back-to-back defeats? That's the conversation. I'll be looking forward to seeing how that one will turn out. Also, we're getting ready for the World Cup draw. Painful that Nigeria will not be part of that one, but hey, the show must go on. So we will be telling you everything that will be happening as regards the countries that have qualified for the World Cup and the different groups where they will be paired. The Africa Cup of Nations, yeah, I mean, so much coming out of, you know, that disgraceful, come on, Austin. You must give that list an adjective. Disgraceful, embarrassing, time-wasting 54-man list from Eric Sekou and the Super Eagles. So the big question everyone has been asking is, what is the objective of that list? Is Eric Sekou really in control of the senior men's national team? That's the big question here, but hey, we'll continue our countdown to the Africa Cup of Nations. Can the Super Eagles win it? Big question. So much to talk about. We'll have a look on everything, particularly Super Eagles captain William Troost-Ekong. Why did he decide to retire from international football at this time? Is it personal reasons? Is it wrong timing? Or is he looking at us and saying, read between the lines? We'll see,
All right, we'll see. Many angles to take a look. To help us do that on the show tonight, our friend Damilola Onifade is with us as we go on this ride. Damilola, greetings to you. Thanks for finding time to be with us on the show. You're smiling already. A lot of angles. But first, I want to thank you for braving the odds to be here.
Yemi, it's a pleasure being here. It's good to know that we are not retired yet. We are still in action.
Our shirts. All right, let's just dive straight into it. Austin said the ball rolling. And I don't want to put words in your mouth. I do that a lot. William Troost-Ekong retiring. Your immediate thoughts as to... I'm careful not to put words in your mouth.
My immediate thought first was that of a shock because I didn't expect that any Nigerian player with just about 2 weeks to an AFCON tournament where on the strength of our players, let me emphasize that, on the strength of our players, we'll probably have a chance of having a good tournament and possibly winning it. Also, the same player that was the best player at the last tournament, I would have thought that, he could have stayed around for another 1 month, then after the AFCON, possibly take a bow, since we didn't qualify for the World Cup. So that was the little shock. But then when you look back to the World Cup qualifiers, it's clear that he has lost his place in that team. The coach no longer trusts his physical ability, at least for 90 minutes. We have younger players, and you must admit that even though we didn't qualify for the finals, you couldn't put that down to the performance of those that played in that defense, probably for other reasons. And so you probably saw that. But I must commend him. I'm not second guessing or questioning his decision or timing. I'm commending him because it's also been a while that we see a Nigerian player that virtually all of us, and that's the reason we're having this conversation, thought that, yes, he might not be the same player of 2-3 years ago, but he still has something to offer, and then he's bowing out. We've not had this in a long while.
Yeah.
We've not had it this way in a long while. I think the last person that actually took a bow this way, to my memory, in this manner, will probably be Victor Moses. Every other player that have retired. We've gotten to a point where we all know that there was nowhere else to turn.
All right.
Other than to take this bow.
So I want to take a quote from him. His reasons, talking about, well, now we have to say former captain of the Super Eagles, now that he has called it quits. So I'll just quickly go across the screen and read out his reasons. Then I'll go to Austin, our man who knows a few things about the inner workings of the Super Eagles. Troost-Ekong retires from international football, and he says, quote, "Today I'm announcing my retirement from international football. In 2015, a phone call from late Stephen Keshi changed my life. A month later, the big boss gave me my debut. His belief in me ignited a desire to follow in his footsteps. This isn't the final goodbye. My work with the Nigerian communities continues, just as my love and passion for this team will never fade." Those are the words from, and of course he says the last decade has been filled with commitment, pride, and unforgettable memories. Wearing the Super Eagles shirt has been more than playing football. It's been a duty, a privilege, and an honor, end quote. William Troost-Ekong, now we have to say former Super Eagles captain, on the strength of this. So he's bowing out in style. There is no argument. Is added grace. Because like Damilola said, it's been a while that we've seen people do this, especially ahead of a big tournament. You know that this was a well thought out decision. It wasn't just a flash. It wasn't just anything. So I'll yield the floor to my colleague Austin. His thoughts. I agree with Damilola. You can look at it whichever way, but what we can all agree is that William Troost-Ekong took his time, thought about this, and come to a conclusion. You can say things, okay, maybe well, footballing reasons, whatever, but it was a well thought out decision.
Yeah, it is, and I know for sure, he knows that I know the major reason why he's calling it quits. But let's go back to how he started in 2015, the late Stephen Keshi, God bless his soul. I remember that time I was so close to the late Stephen Keshi. Every morning, right after sports this morning, the coach was going to give me a call, talk to me about the show, and then we'll go on and on and on. And then they say, "I'm going to bring your brother to the team." I'm like, "Which brother?" They said, "But he's not in Nigeria, he's in the Netherlands, blah, 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 blah." I said, "Okay. Where is he from?" He said, "That's why I said your brother Akwa Ibom." So Troost-Ekong came to the team, and everyone criticized him, me remember. Mm-hmm. Everybody. And then when we started the Oyibo World team, they started now getting some level of prominence. Him and Leon Balogun. Fast forward to this day, 83 senior caps, I think 4 or 5 major tournaments, 3 medals. Congratulations, William Troost-Ekong, and I'm sure he must have learned 1 or 2 things representing Nigeria, but when he looks at his record, he must be proud. He should be proud. I'm also proud of him, because going to the AFCON in Côte d'Ivoire and, turning out that big, and let's give it to him. He's been a fantastic leader. He's a fluent, eloquent communicator. He's a delight, to speak with him. Press conferences, he knows how to, let the media stay cool, stay calm, and give them the sort of conversation that they want. We'll miss him. He's a great guy. But let me say the one that is not out there, and that's why this is Sports Tonight, where we'll give you the exclusive. William Troost-Ekong was the major reason why that strike happened. Yeah. Man said, "NFF, we cannot allow you to keep playing with us. Pay us our monies." You might be thinking and saying to yourself that, "Oh, it's nothing to us," and all of that. He was doing captain role. He said, "No. People can come out and criticize him that, because he was losing his place in the team, because Benjamin Fredericks has come down and put him on the bench, he was angry." No, but we needed someone to stand up and address the incompetence going on in the Nigeria Football Federation. And he did. He was the one that led it. Said, no, we're not going to train unless you pay us our money. So Nigerians give it whatever meanings. The guy has done what he needed to do. He has served. He has stood firm when he needed to stand firm. And now he has come out to say he has called it quits, because we know our people, I mean, they were going to fight back. Where is Dave? Damilola?
Definitely.
You think there's going to be a backlash?
Oh, definitely. That will happen. We have if that did not happen, that would be the miracle. We have a history of that happening. I mean, 2002.
Well, here we are hoping that the administrators will turn a new leaf.
Who is hoping? You?
Well, some of us, yeah.
Okay, some of us, okay. It's good that you couch it that way. But I do not understand the sum. I've said it before. We do not have a history of learning anything. We do not. And we'll go back to history. I mean, we had a case like this. I mean, Sunday Olise did not leave the Super Eagles because he wanted to leave. It was because he did something like this in 2002. You remember Florence Omagbemi lost her job with the Super Falcons because of what happened with the Falcons, like even after winning the title. So we do not have a history of moving on from issues after resolving it and letting the bygone be bygone. No, we always have a way of getting back at because we don't deal with issues. We don't. In our sport,
patch it up.
We patch it up, we deal with individuals, we label people unfairly. You remember the label of 2002. We started calling people that we should celebrate, started calling them tired legs, only because we want to excuse them. I mean, it's so for me, I mean, if you are in Nigerian sport today, you have an idea of what could have initiated this. But like I said earlier, I would rather on a day like this celebrate the man for what he has done. 83 caps for the Super Eagles, 5 tournaments, 3 medals, Olympic bronze, silver at the AFCON, bronze at the AFCON. I mean, he wasn't born in Nigeria, but the way he carried the bat, the way he carried himself, showed a young man that did not just believe in the cause, respect the cause, and was ready to give his all for the cause. It might not be the greatest Nigerian player ever, but I'm sure if you take a scale, he's probably going to be one of the most committed to playing for this country.
All right, I agree with Dan Lola. On a day like this, we should be celebrating the exploits of Wilfred, and just leave everything that is unsavory and just keep it aside. All right, let's move on the show. Still a lot of things to talk about. Let's talk about the eagerly anticipated FIFA World Cup draw to be held in the United States of America. And I think I need to tell my colleague Austin to accept the fact that Nigeria is not going to be there and stop talking. Anytime I want to talk about 2026, let's stop mentioning Nigeria. It's going to make it less painful. So let's just start doing that for ourselves and for our mental health. I think we should start doing that. So I'm going to go across now, and we're going to take a look at the draws and how it's going to be how it's going to be done tomorrow. So let me just quickly go across. We'll start by reading out the plan, and of course you have the conductors, you have the guests. Of course, they told us what they're going to do for the ceremony. You have Rio Ferdinand, England's Rio Ferdinand, Manchester United legend, who's going to be the conductor. Co-conductor is Samantha Johnson. You have Haley Manning, is going to be the red carpet or host. If you're confident with sports in the United States, of course, he needs little or no introduction. Draw assistants, of course, if you're an NFL fan, Tom Brady, Wayne Gretzky, you have Aaron George, and of course, the big man, Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq. All of these guys, big stars in their own rights, in their various sports. And of course, if you know anything about the Americans, it's going to be glitz and glamour. They're going to turn it to a show. And that's what they intend to do tomorrow. And that is why it's an eagerly anticipated event. Now, let's look at the ports and the procedures. The final draw is going to be tomorrow, December 5, 2025. In ports 1, you have Canada, Mexico, United States, Spain, Argentina, France, England, Brazil, Portugal, Netherlands, Belgium, and Germany. A lot of these countries have won before and their rankings, plus the host countries in Pot 2, Croatia, Morocco, Colombia, Uruguay, Switzerland, Japan, Senegal, Iran, Korea Republic, Ecuador, Austria, and Australia. In Pot 3, you have Norway, Panama, Egypt, Algeria, Scotland, Paraguay, Tunisia, Cote d'Ivoire, Uzbekistan, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and of course, South Africa. Then in Pot 4, you have Jordan, Cape Verde, Ghana, Curacao, Haiti, New Zealand, the European playoff A, B, C, and D. Then the FIFA playoff tournament 1 and 2, two teams will qualify from that. DRC is poised to take a stab at that. We'll see what happens. The draw will begin with all the teams from Pot 1 being drawn to groups A and L, and it will then continue with Pots 2, 3, and 4 in that order. And so it's going to be very, very interesting. Well, I told Austin not to be talking about Nigeria, but since 1933, where these draws, somehow we've always talked about Nigeria being in a group of death, Argentina somehow being in the same group with Nigeria. I'm very sure that lexicon will be thrown out of the window now since Nigeria is not there. But we're expecting to see intriguing groups. This year's format is going to be different, not the same amount of matches that we played in the group phase, but it's going to be interesting all the same because it is a World Cup.
It is, Yemi, and we love those sort of, pre-conversations that, rock the airwaves before the main action, we'll be like, oh, why are they always giving us Argentina every time? Why is Argentina doing this to us? And irrespective of who they give to us, as long as Argentina is in there, we find a way to call it the group of death because that's our own way of describing it. But yeah, you've said it all. Everything that will be done for the draw ceremony to happen. The World Cup trophy has also been unveiled right there in Washington, D.C. ahead of the draw ceremony. We've seen the pots and the procedures. So much going down. It's the World Cup. There's no Nigeria, but hey, the show must go on. Let's listen to Rio Ferdinand, former Manchester United player. He's speaking right ahead of the draw ceremony.
I was fortunate enough to play the game at the highest level, represented my country in the World Cup, and I never ever actually imagined being in the position I am in today, where a couple of days out from being one of the hosts at the FIFA World Cup draw, which is just, for me, from where I'm from, a wild dream, and to be fulfilling that here alongside the guys here who spent numerous years really getting to this point, loads of hard work, and even coming here today in the last couple of days and being in a hotel, being in this environment, just seeing the amount of work that goes into just this part, let alone all the other aspects that happen and the elements of creating a World Cup. So that just fills me with pride, 100%, and I really want to do a good job and really want to do the job the justice it deserves, because it's a huge moment. We're all, as a fan, I sit there and watch these events all the time because I want to see where my country is going to be placed through this first game. All of these things here that really make for the kind of the build-up, then the runway into the World Cup. It starts getting tasty, it starts getting tantalising, and you can start really feeling where we're going to fit out. Look at the route to the final, like semi-finals, the quarter-finals. So all of those aspects really start from here up on this stage. So I can't wait with some of the guests we've got coming, some of the stars and surprises we have for you guys. They're going to be really, really crazy, exquisite. So I'm looking forward to it. So again, thank you to the powers that be that really put my name here and said, listen, yeah, go and do it. So I'm obviously getting a lot of help from this man on my right, because there's a lot of technicalities, a lot of detail we've got to take care of on the night. But I'm sure with the reps, with the practice, we're going to get it right.
Manchester United legend, yeah, right to call him that, Rio Ferdinand. He had to thank, so thank you for putting my name in there. Yeah, I mean, you see, he's already loving it, he's feeling it, the energy of the World Cup. We love it so much. Unfortunately, it is what it is. when that draw is done, Nigeria will not be there. Let's go on this quick break now. When we come back, I'll tell you what's going on right here in the English Premier League. And of course, there's still so much to talk about. Don't go anywhere. Stay. Welcome back to Sports Tonight in your award-winning sports-loving channels, television. So much going on in our world of sports. We're counting down to the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The draw ceremony will be done tomorrow. You listen to Rio Ferdinand. He's looking forward to it and is pumped up already. Let me go to Rio Ferdinand's former club, and that's Manchester United. They are busy in the Premier League. 22 minutes already played in that game against West Ham, and it's Manchester United 0, West Ham 0. Before we get into the AFCON, and of course, I think there's some rescheduled Premier League game. Damilola Onifade, is this a game Manchester United can win?
It's a game Manchester United can win, depending on the Manchester United that decide to show up. It's the Man U that would know on the strength of their players. I mean, they should be able to win. West Ham has not had a fantastic season so far. But this is a Manchester United that even in the course of the game can just press the self-destruct button and everything goes kaput. I do not trust this team. Honestly, I don't. Until the dot of 90 minutes, you really cannot tell what to expect from this Man U team. Justin.
All right, let's just go straight to our next sport of call. And of course, it is what you have on your screen. At least for this one, we're in it. So we can be excited when we talk about it. 17 days to go to the African Cup of Nations in Morocco 2025. So interesting days ahead. At least we can enjoy this one. Players will be there. So, but CAF, Africa's football governing body, has put out some regulations. We're just quickly going to reel out some of those things to serve as a guide. There you have it. You have national teams must submit their final squad at least 10 days before kickoff. I'm trying to understand. Well, I'm the one that said we shouldn't talk about Nigeria, but I'm trying to understand what we're going to do between 1 week to prune 54 to 28. Let's see. Some names will just magically disappear. It's just unnecessary drama, to be honest. And failure to do so attracts a $10,000 fine. Damilola, I won't be surprised if we find ourselves in this situation. You might think it's impossible, but let's wait and see. Only 18 players from each squad will be permitted to travel within cities for matches by plane, road, or train. Teams moving from Rabat to Casablanca will have to travel on match day morning, while those heading to other cities can move a day before. These are some of the regulations. No full training session at the match venue a day before games. Teams may only visit and familiarize with the stadium between 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. pending CAF approval. So these are the new regulations for the AFCON in Morocco. Interesting times ahead. Damilola, let's just say a few words before we leave this segment. All of these things here shouldn't be a problem
At all.
to a country that is ready.
Yes.
But why do I feel we're going to get caught in the web somehow? I don't know.
I don't think we will be. If we end up paying the 10,000 naira fine, I think whoever made the payment and whoever approved it should be fired. Because there was no reason for us to.
I agree.
And I say that not because I am underplaying the process of picking a team. But do not forget that the Super Eagles, for example, have the fortunately unusual scenario of playing 2 matches just a few weeks ago. And that's a list of about 23 players. And you are going to the AFCON with 28. How we came about 52 or 53, I don't understand it. I think it's just part of the busy doing nothing process that we've come to embrace. Otherwise, if at all you are going to have a bloated list at all, I would say have the 28 and probably 5 standby. I mean, if you have the 5 standby and you pick per position, if Troost-Ekong even announces retirement today, there will be somebody from that 5 that you just plug in. And we've seen coaches even replace players, not necessarily by position, but by filling other spaces that the player might probably will have played at the tournament. So I don't think we will. I think the thing is, we do things without really thinking about the reasoning. You and I, by the time another list comes out, you will see 28, and we'll be asking what has happened to the 52, and nobody will respond. And then we'll go to AFCON, and that's the end of it.
So where do we get the 55? Well, anyway, nobody enjoys saying these things about their own country, but it's just a shame that we end up saying this. Teams that have unveiled final squad, Damilola made a point. We played few games in November, so we shouldn't even be having. Anyway, teams that have unveiled their final squad: South Africa, DR Congo, Egypt, Benin Republic, and Angola, making it 5. So they don't want to run the risk of paying $10,000. They know what they want and they go straight for it. All right. So our final, conversation on this AFCON. Let's yield to Austin. CAF has put out new regulations. I would have loved to see Nigeria in this list of teams that have submitted a squad, because all I expected was Eric Schell to find out, make calls, just to know 1 or 2 players that are injured. We shouldn't be having a 54-man list for any reasons. We already know some of the guys on that list that will never smell AFCON. So what's the fuss? But anyway, this is Nigeria. So, I mean, your thoughts when you see this, how soon do you think we're going to appear on this list now that we have a 54-man professional squad?
I don't know. Eric Schell needs to tell us, and maybe the NFF technical department also needs to tell us. So when I call out the NFF sometimes, people just don't understand, because this is all leadership. I can see it clearly. And persons have agreed that it cannot be Eric Schell's intention to call 54 players and put it in a provisional list. It's an absolute waste of time. Coaches don't like it. They want to work with what they know. So the NFF technical department, now that the list is out, and you know that you people always shield your coaches. When the media always talk to coaches, they hide them so that they don't say some certain things. NFF, you must learn how to communicate. Until you guys are transparent, open, accountable, you will never ever be able to do this job. NFF. I think I'm joking when I say that our football isn't moving. The same team that made it to the final of the AFCON the last time cannot qualify for the World Cup that has teams that should be beatable any day. So Eric Schell, that I know, that I spoke to, that I've seen, that I did a lot of assessments of, cannot be the one who called 54 players. So NFF technical department, if you ask people now, who is the NFF technical department, people don't even know. So when you bring out this kind of list, you're supposed to call a press conference and explain why we're having 54. Yeah. Don't leave it to persons. Don't leave it to the media and start doing analysis. When this is what we're saying, that we need to put sound people, knowledgeable people who understand these things, because we're going for a tournament. You control the narratives. You just gave us 54-man list and say, oh, what next? Yeah, big question, important question. What's next? Then you give us 27 players or 28 players and say, that's no reason for, oh, this is why we wasted your time. Oh, this is why we wanted this distraction. Oh, this is why we dropped the players that we've dropped. Because they would definitely drop names that people don't expect to be dropped, Damilola, and the media would now jump on it again, and the criticism talk will continue. So these are the things that the Nigeria Football Federation should learn how to avoid, because there is no basis for this 54-man list. And just in case they have one, Damilola, I don't know. I've called it a distraction. I've called it waste of time. Eric Schell must find a way to, be in control of his team, because this is just a clear message out there that Eric Schell is not in control of his team.
Honestly, the only thing I'm hoping for is that if Eric Schell is not in control of the team, Eric Schell should come out and say it before he fails at the AFCON. What I've never agreed with is a situation where we go to a tournament, the coach will fail and start giving me excuses. Okay, you have to own it. If you did not say before going there, it is your failure. And that's my own
So
position.
from where you stand at this point, he owns that list.
No, the NFF release, Eric Shell called them. So and he has not refused it. He owns the list. He must own it. That's my position.
How many players in that MPFL? How many does Eric Shell know?
I am not disputing, Austin, I am not disputing that position with you, but my point is, until Eric Shell comes out to say this is not my list, my list is a list of 28, he must own it.
Okay.
That's why I said what I said earlier, that I do not think that we are going to pay the $10,000 fine. I think even if it's a 24 hours to that time, a 28-man list will drop.
All right, maybe some players just needed to have that call up to their names.
That's the point. You get it.
All right, it's not just an AFCON show, so there are many things to talk about. So let's take a breather, and you will see us in the next few seconds. All right, welcome back. Let's switch gears now and talk about football on the domestic scene. Try not to have headaches when you're talking about Nigerian football, because if you want to be honest, you will do. But let's move on and take results, some rescheduled matches in the Nigeria Premier Football League. Of course, Rivers United beat Kano Pillars by a lone goal. Southwest Derby between Shooting Stars and Remo Stars ended 1-0 in favor of the Oluyole Warriors. So those are the results. Damilola, quick one, even though we're pressed for time. Do you see Remo Stars clawing their way back into, well, I don't want to say retaining the title, but clawing their way back into contention for the title?
I said the last time, I think the last time I was there, I think they will be here and there trying to get back on the continent, maybe through the league, and that's the top two. I don't think they will retain the title. I think that's they know it. They had a poor start. Maybe the continental assignment affected them.
Was a distraction.
Was a distraction. It shouldn't be, but it was. So, because they know what they were going for when they won the league. They had enough time to prepare for it, but it is what it is. But the biggest shock for me this season is Kano Pillars. 9 points from 14 games of 15 now. It's a total for a club of that size. I mean, somebody should be explaining what is happening.
Somebody should.
Somebody should be explaining what is happening.
I agree. I agree. All right, we're pressed for time. Let's go to the women quickly and talk about, probably will allow Austin to do. Okay, let's see. As a result of those matches played, he had a bearing on the top four. Ikorodu City sitting pretty on top, 27 points. Nasarawa United, Rivers United, Niger Tornadoes in that order. And you have to factor in the fact that Rivers United still have 2 matches to be played. And of course, you know, if they win those matches, it's going to change things. Then from the rear, you have Kano Pillars that Damilola says we need to have some explanation. I mean, they've played all matches. So, I mean, Plateau United, Barao, and Benel Insurance. I mean, these are teams you don't want to see here. But still a lot of matches to be played, so we'll see what happens with that. Let's go to women quickly. Let's take a look at match day 2 results for the women. There you have it in Group A. Ekiti Queens played 1-0 with Adamawa Queens. Edo Queens defeated Atlant Queens by a long goal. Rivers Angels defeated Niger Raiders 1-0. Limbom Angels defeated Pacesetter Queens by a long goal. These matches in Group A. Let's go to Group B quickly. In Group B, we have results in Group B. FC Robo Queens hammered Confluence Queens 4-0. Remo Stars Ladies had a 1-0 victory over Abia Angels. Delta Queens played a goalless draw with Sunshine Queens. Oshun Babes defeated Audi and Queens 1-0. Danas Ladies played a goalless draw with Nasarawa Amazons. Let's see what it looks like let's see what it looks like. Okay, I think we just go with this. These are the results. We'll probably take a look at what it looks like in those places later on. All right, let me quickly yield to Austin, allow him to say something about the rescheduled games, and of course give us an update with the game currently going on in the English Premier League.
as that would do a lot to their league campaign. And of course, Pillars, the struggle still continues for them, but let's see what they can do before the end of the first stars. We also talked about Remo Stars and everything that they are going through. I still put it down to the fact that they are not playing in Ikene Remo. The management, they must find a way to get that team back to their original ground so that they start playing football again. For the NWFL, not much to talk about. It's just match day 2, but good to see Rivers Angels recording their first win of the season. Edo Queen, same thing. So if you look at the league table, the only good that really happened was FC Robo Queens. It means now they are the only team with 2 wins from 2 matches, and that keeps them at the top of the table with 6 points. Flawless record for them. So we'll get to see if they can keep this new momentum that they have built, going. Is very, very important. In the English Premier League, 38 minutes already played. Manchester United 0, West Ham 0. So I'm not taking my eyes off it because we saw this sort of results yesterday, and when second half came, goals started pouring in. So we'll see.
All right, so we'll see. Also talking about yesterday. So let's take a look at the results from yesterday. Arsenal had a 2-0 victory over Brentford. It came at a cost. 2 players got injured. Declan Rice got out, and of course the Spanish defender Mosquera also had to go out injured. Brighton and Aston Villa was a 7-goal thriller, ended 4-3 in favor of Aston Villa. Burnley lost to Crystal Palace by a lone goal. Wolverhampton Wanderers lost to Nottingham Forest by a lone goal. Leeds United punched above their weight, defeated Chelsea, and of course Liverpool needed an own goal to play a 1-1 draw with Sunderland. Damlola, let me just quickly come to you before we listen to Mikel Arteta, because he's our next port of call. He's been complaining about the injuries, but will that be, in fairness, they've had to deal with injuries, but people will be quick to remind you that injuries are part of the game. Now, these injuries coming thick and fast, is hard to play most situations without his best players, and they keep getting results. But if the results don't, go the way it's going, will those issues about injuries be enough an excuse?
It won't. It won't. He has a bigger squad. And there are loads. I honestly do not think that the injuries will, because they've not really have long-term injuries, to be fair. Maybe 4 weeks here and there, which are just normal thing in football. I don't think it will be a good enough excuse. I think he has to be creative. He has good enough players to fill in. My biggest fear for Arsenal has been an injury to Declan Rice. I think that's the only player in that team that I'm not sure they have a capable substitute for. Maybe they will have players that can do a job, but not at that level. The team will have to adjust a little. And that might affect them being free-flowing. It takes something out. I mean, the other 2 players that probably will come in will be to play Merino, and he's not as creative as Declan Rice.
Not as energetic.
And then Nogard. Nogard is a step back. He's a backup, basically. And so the team will have to adjust. I might not be that free-flowing, but that still does not mean they will lose games. For me, I have an issue. I watched the interview fully yesterday. I have an issue when your team is at this level and the coach is beginning to build excuses. There is a way those things affect the psyche of the players. I think what he should be doing now is to charge up the players. I have a problem with the Premier League not having a proper break. I have a problem with that. But with the number of tournaments, but Arteta should stop making excuses. You find a way to brace his players. I mean, almost every team have had injuries issues this season, really.
So, Arteta, if you are listening, Damila is saying it's not an excuse. Let's listen to Mikel Arteta, and of course, we hear Austin's thoughts on Arsenal, and of course, he'll talk to us about Enzo Maresca, another person who has an explanation for why his team lost. So, we'll listen to Mikel Arteta, and of course, we'll come back for more.
Yes, we had a very, very demanding week at every level, emotionally, physically, what the game demanded. In the tactical and technical aspect of it, we were asked to play 3 days later, 1 less recovery than them, and still performing the way that we've done it against a team that is super well coached, very well organized, that they are very clear how they want to generate big chances, and they are really good at doing that. So 1-0, we knew it wasn't enough. I don't think we conceded anything apart from the save that they had to make on the corner. But the game was always open, you know, and we needed that extra energy to close it. And maybe when we didn't have it, we had the courage to take the ball under pressure and to start to break their press to very good movement and purpose with the ball to go and score a second goal and win the game.
All right. Arteta sharing his thoughts with us. All right. We'll go to the business side. But I mean, I'll see your thoughts quickly on Mikel Arteta and probably say a word for Chelsea as well.
Yeah, well, for Mikel, I think this is what it means to have a big squad. He must find a way to manage all of the problems. I think you would prefer this problem he's having now, you know, compared to the past where if it's just Gabriel or maybe Bukayo Saka that is injured, Arsenal's season will be all over the place. So they will definitely come through, and I think the guys who are fit are getting the job done, and that's very, very important. For Enzo Maresca and Chelsea, I'm sure nobody would have expected that sort of result against Leeds United. They put up a big, big display. They were gallant against Arsenal with 10 men from about the 32nd minute and 37th minute, and then went all the way to hold the Gunners, red hot Arsenal. And then you go to Elland Road and fall the way Chelsea did. Then they deserve the sort of criticism that they've been getting. Let's listen to Enzo Maresca. I know he's not happy with his team, but hey, coaches must come out and support their team. Listen.
Because we perform so well against Arsenal or so well against Barcelona or so well the last month that we are going to perform always in the same way. For different reasons, it's not possible because situation that you have to manage, players that you have to rotate. So for sure, for different reasons, the level is not going to be always the same. When you come here, but at home away against any team, if you don't perform 100%, Premier League is tough against any team.
Yeah, that's Chelsea's manager, Enzo Maresca. And Enzo Maresca. You see, he was trying to make it look like, oh, the fact that we play the way we did against Arsenal doesn't mean we play like that all the time. You should, though. You will play like that all the time, particularly when you're playing a small team. You must, show that you can keep it going because those are the teams you need to beat if you want to prove upon that you're a title-winning team. I mean.
Yeah, I agree. All right, with all that talk on the English Premier League, let's take a breather and see us in the next few seconds as we prepare to wrap things up. All right, Amlola. Austin says nobody has any excuses.
I totally agree with him. Yes.
But in his own case, we don't have to, but in his own case, I just want to realize the changes, 7, 8 changes, and all of these players don't, I mean, it's obvious to the eye they're not on the same level. So you should expect this sort of fluctuations. I think that's the difference in their case with Arsenal.
It will happen, but then this is the point. This is the point, Yemi. The drop in quality from the Chelsea first team to the backup is still expected to be better than Leeds first team. Okay. That's the point. So the point is not about the changes. The point is you are a big club. You spend so much money. I was watching a game yesterday. I think it was the Sunderland game. They played against Liverpool, and the price for buying Isaac alone, Isaac was more expensive than the whole team of Sunderland at some point in that game. The commentator said he's John Champion. And so, I mean, even if Liverpool should drop Isaac, would you say that, I mean, because of that, then they had part? No. I think that's the point. But again, you also must admit that occasionally it will happen because players are not robots. And they're playing loads of games. You could see between Chelsea and Arsenal in the last 2 games that the energy level dipped a little, but then they are still expected to push on. That's why they are paid as much as they are.
Okay. All right. I guess that's a good place to leave it. I don't know if Austin agrees. Well, he does anyway. Don't give us excuses. Go ahead and win. That's what he's saying. Yeah. Tell us what's happening in the Manchester United game as we go.
We're approaching halftime. Manchester United 0, West Ham United 0. As I said, I'm sure when the second half resumes, we're going to see loads of goals in this one. Hopefully, I say loads of goals with so much confidence. These days with Manchester United, you never say never. That's the show. In London, I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember to keep talking sports. Bye for now.
It's a wrap here in Lagos as well. I want to thank you for your time. Before we go, I'll say a very big thank you to Damilola Onifade for his time on the show today.
Yeah, it's time to retire for tonight. We'll be back on this pitch.
We're not retiring yet. That's the show today. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back for one more edition before the week runs out. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.